KEM Jones, I want you to know that I am putting you on notice that anytime you say anything remotely close or connected to me, guess what? I am coming after you and your show and responding in kind. And I will go scorch earth on you people. Because you know why? I realize that you people have no sense of decency, boundaries or limit. And the only way to deal with you guys is to confront you with an equally vicious and unrelenting force. So going forward, that is what I will be doing. Again, I will respond in kind to anything that is said to me that is remotely disrespectful. I realize, again, as I have said, that in some respects, you people are demon-possessed, okay? And the problem is that you cannot negotiate with demons. So what do you do with demons? You confront head-on these demons.
These people, they're out there trying to throw muddy water.
No one needs to throw muddy waters on you guys. You're already muddied. You guys are already a cesspool of undignified, devious, divisive, rapacious, socialist Marxists, charlatans, and imposters.
But Grenadians home and abroad are fed up.
You're absolutely right, KEM Jones. Grenadians, home and abroad, are absolutely fed up with your divisive, bordering in evil, and hate-spewing propagandist headquarters. And if you do not pivot, we will hold you accountable. And that is because we love Grenada more than we love you.
Hate and bitterness, and it's showing up.
You got that straight. Yes, your hate and bitterness is indeed showing up. And here you see, he goes into another tirade about Dr. Keith Mitchell.
When Keith Mitchell posts something, people go under there and they really let him have it. When Emlyn Pay does the same thing and others, they go under their posts and let them have it. Ordinary Grenadians. And you listen to ordinary Grenadians every day. All they want is good for Grenada. They want positive things for Grenada. They want Grenada to be transformed.
You are indeed correct. They do want positive things for Grenada. But you and your crew is not part of that package. Of course they want Grenada to be transformed. But you guys have proven that you're incapable of effecting that transformation.
That is what they want. They are not interested in slander.
KEM Jones, you pretend to know all of this. But you are the chief instigator of slander.
And that is why I say to people, when this guy went in the town hall in New York and the Grenadian people booed him, it was not just him, It was not just in the moment,
And listen to this right here. This proves how politically ignorant that KEM Jones is. That he would try to put a spin on what happened at the Brooklyn Town Hall. And I know what happened to him. I know he's butthurt. He's devastated that his idol was taken to task while he's on stage. And he was pressed than none other than yours truly. They've never seen the idol pressed, okay? Like a deer in the headlights and forced to respond to what was asked of him. So that is why KEM Jones is butthurt. He's devastated. No wonder you see he packed up for about, 6 days now? The guy was probably at home depressed, crying. So KEM Jones, you can't put a spin on this. Okay? You don't realize that. That's what I tell you. Do more harm than good to the NDC. You're not helping their cause. Because you try to put a spin on this instead of, okay, owning the irresponsible behavior of a certain section, a very small section in that town hall, because I'm not going to castigate the whole town hall. So that very small section, that irresponsible, disrespectful to themselves, lawless section, which did you guys more harm than good. Because you know why? When everyone should have taken away from the Brooklyn Town Hall what was said about Polaris, you know what people took away from the Brooklyn Town Hall? That look at that lawless, reckless cabal of a sect within the NDC, okay, that actually disrespected and dishonored the NDC. That didn't help your cause, because now the whole of the Caribbean, the whole of Brooklyn, and throughout the world realize that there's a sect, there's a cabal within the NDC that the NDC condones, that is mainly responsible for all the divisiveness, recklessness, okay, and hate that is spewed on Facebook. The world saw that, and that is what they remember, and that was the takeaway from the town hall. So the victory is mine. KEM Jones, the victory is mine. But if you had any political sense, you would have understood that. And look, y'all was so disrespectful that the chief architect from Perkins and Wills, Miss Pat, I asked her to chime in, and she was so dishonored and so disrespected. Okay? Can you imagine what that woman took away from that town hall? That she couldn't say a word. She answered every other architectural question, but she couldn't say a word. And of course she knew, he's like, I don't want to get involved in this. Oh, what he's saying is definitely correct. I know he's on point. But she was like, you know what? I don't want to show up this administration for what they did in this premature, so-called groundbreaking. So she did the next best thing. She said nothing. But it goes to show these white folks are not foolish. They will abandon your asses when need be to protect themselves. But it goes to show, for all you guys tout about the expertise of Perkins and Wills, guess what? They abandoned you guys when it mattered most. Because Pat answered every other question. But when yours truly pressed them, guess what? Pat from Perkins and Wills abandoned you guys. And in some respects, maybe you guys are so disrespectful. But in some respects, maybe you guys are so disrespectful that she's like, I don't even want to be involved in this. So for you to try to take a victory lap and think that that was something magnificent that that little cabal sect within the NDC did, it's shameful. Tells me how much you understand politics, bro. That right there could be your downfall. No one would ever forget. People now understand who you people are. And they know that you and your crew cannot be trusted with power. So go ahead, KEM Jones. Put some sort of spin on what occurred. But the victory on that day belonged to the Grenadian people and myself. We triumph over recklessness, lawlessness, and chaos. Because that true Grenadian spirit that is embedded in me refused to back down to tyrants.
Something is happening and we need to say it out loud.
You're absolutely right, KEM Jones. Something is truly happening. Okay? Intimidation, vindictiveness, and rapaciousness is happening in our society. And it is spearheaded by you, your idol, and the rest of the crew. Socialist Marxists, charlatans, and imposters are leading Grenada down an extremely dangerous path. We have seen the consequences. We continue to see the consequences. So, it is time that Grenada awaken.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. And I pondered for a moment early this morning. Excuse me. And I say to myself, excuse me, what Grenadians will really go to the polls and vote for? Excuse me. Is it because they like a man? Excuse me. Because somebody popular, they like them, they're going to go and vote for that person, or that person could dance nice, or talk nice, or they dress nice.
Ah, KEM Jones, you're being honest now. Wow. You just expressed what a very large percentage of the NDC voters voted for or were duped into voting for in the last campaign. But the NDC voter now is not as drunken or intoxicated or as bamboozled as they were in the last campaign. They've gotten a little more clarity. So you can't play with their emotions anymore.
Grenadians are not voting for that anymore.
And you're absolutely right, KEM Jones. There is something that we don't disagree upon. Grenadians are not voting for that sort of garbage, for that sort of nonsense that was spewed to them in the last campaign. They're not voting for taking utility bucket trucks to go pick fruits by the roadside. They're not voting for golden apple on their plate. They're not voting for promises of 500 Grenadian-style homes, and instead ended up with 17 overpriced homes. So you're right, KEM Jones. Grenadians are not voting for sweet speeches, dress up nice, and ice cream pans. They're not voting for that anymore.
Grenadians do not see this as a popularity contest anymore. That is not what it is.
Yeah, it's no longer a popularity contest. You know, I mean, you guys took advantage, bamboozled, riled up, play with the emotions of Grenadian people, and advantage them in some respect in the last campaign. You know, you play games with them. And so they ain't voting again for, hey, look at my PME nicely.